Hello and welcome back to the Scale Modelling Cafe and this week's update. We'll get straight on with it. So channel update then. Part 1 of the Armour Hurricane has gone out. That's my usual chit chat about what aftermarket I'm going to use and what I want to do and achieve with the project and all that kind of stuff. So that's gone out, and tomorrow, because this is Saturday, so tomorrow actually start the building with the cockpit and the wings and the wheel wells, which sounds a bit weird. Why not just do the cockpit like I normally do? But the way the kit is engineered and designed is the cockpit builds up on the wing, so you have to kind of get that done first, and it all starts with the wheel well. So I go into detail on that. Suffice to say, it's utterly astonishingly beautiful and really lends itself to some nice weathering, and it's quite colourful, being mostly silver. So look out for that. I put up a chat video that I'd filmed quite a while ago and completely forgot about, and that was my take on essentially the gloss coat debate. And it is a debate. There seems to be two camps: those that say it's essential that you must gloss to minimise silvering, and those that are adamant that you absolutely don't. It's just my take on it. One thing though, well, two things that really you have to bear in mind, I think. Firstly is you're not gloss coating or having a smooth finish just because of silvering. It really helps to varnish in between layers, so underneath the decals and on top of the decals. It really helps to eliminate the carrier film. Yes, you can put a decal onto rough, wet and dry paper, use setting solutions and techniques to avoid silvering, but you will see the edge of the carrier film. So that's one thing. The other thing is, whatever works for you, and if you want to keep doing it, then crack on. If it works, it works. I'm always trying new things out, and then if I find something better, then I'll adopt that. If I don't find it as good, then I won't, but I'll probably have a re-attack later on down the line and just see, well, did I do it wrong? And I'm always changing and, you know, meandering around trying to find the best way that works for me. And that's it at the end of the day. If it works for you, it works for you. So yeah, I have a chat about that. Enjoyed that one. I've got a few more chat things, some sprue tours and whatnot that are in the can. I just need to edit up, and it's just finding the time. So as and when, I'll start bringing those to you. Project update on the F-14 then. So last time I'd done the seats. This time I've done the cockpit and quite a lot the airframe. And here is the airframe. The nose section is not glued to the rear section, as you can see. It does slot in, and I will seal that in with a bit of glue. Down the bottom end here, yeah, it's not quite as seamless, but it is hidden on the bottom. I'm toying with the idea of maybe not even gluing this in, but we shall see. I still haven't decided on the loadout yet, although I've got an idea in mind. But typical Tamiya falls together. Conventionally, the nose section was glued together. For me, I say conventionally because I didn't use super glue here. I actually used just normal cement. Nothing other than I fancy doing it like that for a bit of a change. But I did use super glue, the black super glue, on these wing glove things here. Sorry, my phone's just gone bleep. The intakes are all done, the wheel wells are all done, and this part of the airframe is pretty much finished. What I'm doing at the moment is, in fact what I've just finished really doing at the moment, is all the bits that need to be glued together. So all the ordnance. So I've got the recce pod here, I've got drop tanks, I've got the tail fins, I've got lots of pylons. As I said, I don't know what load I'm doing yet, but I've done a couple of the LGBs. I've done one Phoenix missile. There's the little laser guided bomb. I've got all sorts of bits and pieces in here. And yeah, as I said, it's typical Tamiya. It really is. Now, on the nose section, with the undercarriage, underneath, is I've started to use, because you have to sandwich the lower part of the nose gear leg during construction, using this. This is the Detail and Wonder 3D printed undercarriage set. And it looks, at first glance, it looks hideously complicated. Because if I can carefully get it out, I mean, the packaging is absolutely amazing. So in the box, what I should have done is a sprue tour of this. In the box, you get this foam insert with the circles, and then the cage is in these sort of circles, and when you put it out, it does look just insanely complicated. These are the main gear legs, but these main gear legs, they look like one piece. They have all the hydraulic pipes molded in, and they're floating. So it's not like cast resin. They're, you know, they are real looking. They're multi-part because you also get this little bag of metal rods to one, to reinforce them, and two, for the oleos, which is just amazing. You also get wheels which are weighted and are superbly detailed. So even though I've got some def model wheels down there, I shall be using these, and obviously these are designed for this update set. And I've already had a little play, and they fit perfectly. Utterly, utterly amazing. Not cheap, but just these for me are a must. This is a case where, and this happens sometimes, that I find some aftermarket and I don't have the kit, but because the aftermarket is so amazing, I have to go out and buy the kit. That's not the case for this one. I'm building this for a friend of mine, but just utterly, utterly amazing. So that's the state of play on this. What I'm doing now is I'm just doing some more of the cockpit stuff, the combing, the combings, all that kind of stuff. I'll get the windscreen on, and the next job, while I wait for all that stuff to go off, because I glued all that together and I want to leave it at least a week before I start sanding stuff, because we don't want go seams, is I'm going to make a start on the burner cans, which are brassing, and get those done, and then it's onto the wings. Now this is going to have the wings with dropped slats and flaps, and it's really quite complicated, so I need to get my head around that, and also how am I going to paint it, probably as I go along, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's quite an involved project actually. I really wish I was doing the one all buttoned up, but my mate wants the one that's all dropped, which is fair enough. It's going to look cool, but I think because of that I'm going to have all the steps open and stuff on the cockpit and the canopy open. It was rare to see everything drooped, just sat on the ground, but you know, there are photos out there, so valid. Right, on to the questions. So I forgot to do the questions last week, so there's a few to get through, not too many. I'll rattle through them. Most of them are from a chap called Gordon Pell. So he talks about the silhouette cutter. Could I do a masterclass? Yes, I do want to. I just need to work out a way of filming the screen. And no idea. So I'm going to ask Drew about that. Because he seems to be of an expert. Right. Gordon also ask about the weathering magazine. So what is the weathering magazine? The weathering magazine is from Ammo, MiG Ammo. So MiG started it as a side project when he helped set up AK Interactive, and when the split happened, he owned the magazine, if you like, so he brought it with him to Ammo MiG. And now there's also the Weathering Aircraft, so it's a quarterly publication. The Weathering magazine, well, both pick a theme, and it could be anything, absolutely anything. Metal, green, Vietnam, water, or an effect, so dust, rust, something like that. And the whole magazine has lots of different projects around the theme. And the difference with the Weathering magazine and the Weathering Aircraft magazine is you get all the articles are tutorials. So they are step by step, in detail, articles on how to do particular theme or genre or whatever. And obviously the Weathering Aircraft is guided towards aircraft, but the Weathering magazine is tanks, AFVs, civilian vehicles, aeroplanes, dioramas, just everything. So it's a lot more broad brush, and both are really awesome. And I will say that because I'm a contributor to it every now and again. So there we go. I'm just watching a couple of ants walking down there. Don't know where they came in from. It's that time of year. Out here. Right. So Gordon, I hope that answers your question. Another one. How do I transport my models to and from the cave? So what I do is I have, hang on, it's just here. So I've got some of these just clear plastic storage boxes with lids, and the way I pack them is I use carrier bags. So I scrunch up carrier bags, put them in the bottom, then put the model in, and then put the carrier bags around the model, and then more carrier bags on the top. And the scrunched up carrier bags do an amazing job of absorbing all the impact. And so far, coming back from Saudi in almost the 4 years I've been here, I've not had any breakages at all. Nothing. Not even like an undercarriage door being knocked off. Now, I hope I don't hex it with this thing. This is going to be packed up modular, so I'm toying with the idea of keeping the nose separate as well, but definitely the wings are going to be separate, the canopy is going to be separate. It's exactly what I did with the F4. The tail planes may even be separate, and I'm going to package it up in such a way that all I've got to do is just slot the things together when I get home, and it should hopefully be easier because it's quite a big model with the wing spread in 48th. So that was that question. So I think that's all from Gordon. No, I've got another one. Mr. Surfacer Primer. How do I thin Mr. Surface Primer? What ratios do I use? I don't use a ratio. Not strictly true. Obviously, it is a ratio, but I've no idea what it is. What I tend to do is I put in the airbrush, in the colour cup, I've got it right here. This is the ammo, one of the ammo ones. What I do is I put the thinner in, then I'll put some Mr. Surfacer in and mix it up, then I'll spray, and then I'll either put more Mr. Surfacer in or more thinner in, depending on what I need. And I do that with all my paints. That's how I mix the paints. I do it directly into the colour cup with the thinner in first. Not really recommended, because really you ought to do it separately and then get it right and then pour it in. But that's how I do it, and it's just for speed, really. So I'm sorry I can't tell you exactly how much the ratios are, because I really honestly have no idea. I just kind of mix it up in there until it's spraying how I want it to spray. Right, from, here we go. Right, YouTube kind of throws out random names sometimes. The Blytonian. Right, so this is the Messerschmitt 410. And yeah, he says, wrong scale, wrong price, already being done, underwhelming. They need to do something much better than Italeri or the fine molds kits. They're building, you can do the U4 option. Other than the red box, if that's important to you. So essentially, he's, that's not a question. I don't know why that's got mixed up with the questions, but seeing we're on the subject of the ME410 and Airfix and their choices. Now, Drew, friend of the channel, good friend of mine, he has he started the Italeri one a little while ago, and he pulled it off the shelf of doom, looked at it, and then threw it in the bin, based on the quality of the Airfix kit. The Airfix kit blows the Italeri kit out the water in terms of quality, detail, and fit. It's really quite sharp, and the engineering is really rather good. The fine molds 410 has quite some obvious accuracy issues around the engine nacelles and stuff like that, even though it does look quite refined. But at the end of the day, Airfix are a business in to make money for Airfix. It's a bit of a cliche, and they obviously saw a gap in the market for their market, and they've gone for it, and they've produced what looks like a really nice model kit. Now, I've not seen it in the flesh, I've only ever seen it online, and but it does look really rather nice. So, you know, if you don't want a brand new, tall, modern, well-fitting, well-engineered ME410 in 1/72 scale, then don't buy it at the end of the day. Quite simple, isn't it? I feel another chat video coming on. Right, so 420 scale models says, what would you do on a natural metal finish, as I'm always worried about losing my metallic finish if I varnish, and the last couple of NMF builds I've done all suffered with silvering, so all I could do was run a scalpel over them and keep applying Microsol. Right, so varnishing and natural metal finishes and decals. There's a couple of ways of doing it. Aquagloss from Alclad and now A-Stand is really quite a good product for varnishing over metallic finishes. So you can seal in your metallic finish using Aquagloss as long as it's a really light mist coat over the top, and then you shouldn't lose the metallic luster. So that's one way you could do. And with the A-Stand metallic finishes, they really do withstand the setting solutions really rather well. Now, I have had with some of the metallic finishes, so primarily airframe aluminium, which is a very shiny one, over a black gloss black undercoat, I have had some of the strongest setting solutions affect that paint, so the Aquagloss would help to eliminate that. I've also struggled to eliminate some of the carrier film over the metallic finish if I don't varnish. So what I did on the Airfix Lightning in 48th is I did some Aquagloss very fine mist coat, sandwiching the decal film, and it did go some way to improving the look. Now the decals were cartographed, but they were older, and I couldn't get rid of the carrier film. It just wouldn't work. So I think the best bet is to spray on your markings, frankly. Now, how are you going to get around using the stencils? You can't really, you're just going to have to do the best you can. Sorry, that's a bit vague and a bit woolly, but give Aquagloss from A-Stand a go, or Alclad, and see how you get on with that. That would be my advice. And if you can spray your markings, then do that. Right, so I hope that answers that question. Right, Roger says, what are my thoughts on the new Edward decals? I've done a whole video on that, but to recap very briefly, I think they're really very good and they're improving all the time. I love the fact that you can remove the carrier film, although you don't have to, and I've not done that in some models. And the 109G2/4 is out now. Mine is coming. In fact, it's not coming. Andy from Antics, brilliant shot by the way, has put it aside for me, and when the Fulmer gets released, he's going to send that out to me. Unless the Fulmer is delayed, in which case he's going to make sure I get my 109s before Christmas so I can bring them out here. Edward Decals, I think they're really quite good and they're improving all the time. It's just the print quality needs improving, and it is improving. Right, Pete Mathers. Have I had a reaction with the GX varnish and decals? He is a car modeler and he has done that. No is the answer. I haven't had setting solutions affect the GX100. It is by far and away the best gloss out there, and it's not hideously dangerous like the 2-pack 2K ones which you can buy, which I don't think should be sold for the hobby market used in homes. I think it's just evil, lethal stuff, and if you use it, it's up to you. But even with ventilation, windows open, extractor fans and full kit, I still wouldn't be using that stuff at home. I think it's lethal. There we go. That's the end of the questions. Right, I'll just get rid of that. On with the news then. So I will say, if you've got any questions, just fire them in and I'll answer them here. There we are. Right, okay. News then. Laminar Flow Design are, so that's Matthew from Belgium. I've got his Razorback Mark 14 conversion set for the Tamiya Mark 8 in 32nd scale. That is coming to the channel early next year. I've got a few Spitfires actually that are coming to the channel then. He has done a really neat thing. So he did say that if you buy some of his sets now, some of the cockpit set for the Spitfire, then you'll find a bonus free cage, for want of a better word, in there. In that is a reject print. And rather than just bin it, he thought, well, I'll include it with people who buy my stuff, and you'll see the part in there that hadn't worked, and you know, but there should be some bits and pieces in there that are usable. And you're going to get it for free, which I think is great. And even if everything in there is trashed, then he said at least you can practice opening up the cage and removing some of the parts without damage. And I think that is a brilliant idea. So thank you very much, Matthew, for that. That is that's wonderful. Great bonus. Ammo of MIG are having a Black Friday sale, Black Week sale, whatever it is these days, autumn sale. The flash sales, so there's different things on sale every day. So every day go and check their website and you look out for some great bargains. Some of the stuff's even up to 90% off. And if you spend more than €100, you get a free gift of some of the coloured cement. And I've used some of the colour cement on here. Might just be able to see it underneath there, because I use a little bit too much in one of the bits and it spilt out. But there we go. All it's done is stain the plastic. No danger of ruining anything there. Right, long awaited from me is the From Battle. They have announced some more of their sprue shots of the wings. So I think we're getting closer and closer. No idea when it's coming out, but I really want that model. I've got a real thing for the Battle. I really like it. What can we see from the sprue shots is it's not riveted. So I'm going to have to break out the riveter. That's a bit of a pain in the bum. I'm going to have to do that myself. But also that the fabric sagging effect on the ailerons look really rather overdone. So that's going to need sorting out. I think what I'm going to do on mine is apply some Mr. Surfacer and sand it down. Now, these are the ammo putty surfacer, liquid surfacer, thick, medium and thin, and I've been trying them out on the F-14 in one or two areas, and I have to say they are really good, really good. I know I'm an ammo fanboy, but they are really, really good. This is the thick one. You get that in the standard bottle, but this really fine applicator works brilliant with these, and they claim that they don't shrink, and so far I've not had any shrinkage. So yeah, big shout out for that. So what I'll probably do is use that to paint over the top, the thick one, build it up in a few layers, and then sand it down a bit just to remove that effect. It might be exaggerated by the lighting, we shall see. Right, and the last one is not really news as such. Armour Hobby, in a reply on one of their threads, replying to one of their customers who posted on there, said they have big plans for 1/48 scale, which is incredibly exciting. Having built the Hurricane, which I think is, well, it's definitely my kit of the year, put it that way, and I'm going to make a bold claim that it's the best kit I have ever made. Now, bearing in mind, I'm making this Tamiya F-14, which is brilliant. It's not perfect. There are a little few bits and pieces here and there, and but you know, it's a superb kit. The Armour Hobby kit is goes one better. It's just utterly astonishing. It is astonishing, is what it is. It's astonishing. Now, I put up on my Facebook page, the Scale Modelling Cafe Facebook page, I wonder what they'll do next. And that sparked off a bit of a discussion, which is cool, and lots of people put their suggestions in. And why not stick in the comments below a discussion on what do you think that they'll do? Not what would you like to see. Try and be a little bit more cerebral and think what they might do. Now, some people have suggested, oh, P38. Well, they're not going to do the P38, are they? Because Tamiya do a beautiful P38, and it's only been out a few years. So, yeah, they're not going to do a P38, are they? They're not going to do Mustangs, because Edward, just a few years ago, released their P51D Mustangs, and they are beautiful kits, and they're about to release in the first quarter of 24 the Razorback. So it's not going to be that, is it? It's not going to be a P40, because Edward have announced a whole series of P40s, and they're going to be really, really, really nice kits. So it's not going to be the Wildcat for the same reason. Edward are doing really nice ones. Tamiya is about to bring out the FM1. So, people, get your thinking caps on. What could they do? There's been some brilliant suggestions so far, some that I would love to see. My one is Sea Fury. Now, that might sound a little bit contradictory. Well, Airfix recently. Oh, sorry about that. The card filled up. This is a bit of a long one, isn't it? Right, what was I saying? Yes, Airfix Sea Fury from Airfix. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's a great kit, actually. The detail is quite clunky. The exterior detail is quite clunky. The cowling is a little bit of a mess. It's a bit of an awkward to get it together, and there's some accuracy issues with it. None of this is insurmountable, but to get a really nice refined result will take a hell of a lot of work. and quite a bit of money from the aftermarket. You know, it's that particular kit has been helping Roy Sutherland from Barracuda Studios pay his rent for quite a few years now. So that was my suggestion, would be a Sea Fury from Armour. That would, you know, whatever's going to come out is going to be similar quality to the Hurricane, which is mega exciting. So, as I said, be really exciting to get your thoughts on that. Right, there we are. I think we're pretty much at the end. That's about getting on for half an hour for an update. But like I say, I forgot to do the questions last week. And yeah, there's been quite a bit of progress to talk about on the old F-14, which is down here. There we are. I'm going to leave it there. So thanks very much for watching. Stick your comments down in below on some of the stuff that we've chatted about. Be great to hear your thoughts on what you think Armour Hobby may do. If you want to stick in what you'd see them like to do, because someone said, oh, a 1/48 scale Sunderland. Armour Hobby are not going to do a 1/48 scale Sunderland, but wouldn't it be amazing if they did? I mean, personally, I'd like to see some 72nd World War II bombers. Manchester, which would be quite nice. Anyway, I'm waffling on again now, aren't I? Anyway, right, there we are. I'll leave it there. Yeah, so stick those in the comments below, and we'll have a chat about it. So, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.